feel like we should be doing this. Should we be doing this? Like the monkeys? Yeah. Is it? It's like this. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey. David Zrinsky for the
That should be the
Experience.
thumbnail.
That's the opening. That's the opening. I am back, and I'm joined with some friends. And when you are all seeing this, chances are it is New Year's Eve day, or maybe even you're watching this on New Year's Eve, which is amazing. But of course, I have to introduce my friends. Just to the right of me, we've got Joe Darlington from Being James Bond.
How are you? Good
Nice to see you.
Thank you, sir.
It's been a little bit.
Happy New Year. Yeah, it has been. Not too long, but yeah, a little while.
Little while. Yeah. The last time you were here was over the summer.
Yep.
And you were due to go to Gatherall, but Spectre thwarted you.
Got the C word. Yeah. No. Good stuff. Yeah, exactly. You want to get demonetized.
Not that C word.
Yeah. Careless. Yeah, that's a bunch of geeks. Table of three. And speaking of our third in the table of three, we've got Kyle. Kyle's back, Barbeau.
Hello, how are you?
Easy smiles.
And expensive watches.
Expensive watches. Or Vito Kyle.
Vito Kyle.
I love it. Do you like Vito Kyle?
No time to Kyle.
No time to Kyle's good.
I've got plenty of time for that.
There's plenty of time. So today what we're doing is we have a couple libations, both adult and childlike, and we are going to be chatting. This is a video about, and you can all play along at home. This video is a little bit about reflection, and it's a little bit about forecasting and expectations. And I'd like to get us a little bit deep, but let's start with 2022. Joe, we'll start with you. You had a couple big moments in 2022. Can you talk about some of those?
Yeah. Well, I had a couple personal big moments in 2022. I got myself one of these, so I'm officially married. I am a married man.
Wow.
off the market.
Sorry, ladies.
So yeah, sorry, ladies.
And one of the first thing that happened when he got married was he's not allowed to watch a Bond movie at Christmas.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. Just I get it now. I see what all you married guys have been telling me for years.
Run!
So yeah, exactly. There you go. There's still one left, ladies.
That's right.
I will have to be the handsome single guy to take care of.
And you pulled a Willy Wonka as well, right?
I did. I became Grandpa Joe. And my wife's daughter had a baby recently, a little girl.
Wow, amazing.
A beautiful little girl. So of course everybody's just falling in love with this little baby. So yeah, a lot of personal milestones this year, which of course meant not a whole lot of time to crank out content like I enjoy. Did manage to get one big one out recently, which was good. Didn't sound really right the way I said that. But, I got a major one out there.
At our age, bowel movements are very important too. They really are very big.
Exactly. So yeah, just so.
By the way, don't neutralize that. I mean, you came out with probably, I would say, arguably one of your biggest videos this entire year, which is you finally did an entire ranking video of all 25 films.
Yes, absolutely. And that was an endeavor for sure. I mean, it's a lot of work to put that one together, but a lot of fun putting it together. And yeah, it was, again, we did, one of the things that I did for a while now was some of these ranking videos. I ranked all the different actors. So this was kind of like the big one that was left. And so I was kind of excited to put that one out. It was a lot of fun.
And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Although I will say, a little bit controversial.
Yeah,
people actually, I saw the comments. People said some choices were brave. They used the word brave.
Yeah,
I'm thinking No Time to Die, maybe.
Yeah, yes, and it was. What I love reading are those comments that are, I didn't agree with all of your choices, but you spelled it out pretty well. You articulated your thoughts, so well done. Then of course you get randos who say like, this one was way all the way up here, totally lost your credibility. Goodbye, unsubscribe. Goodbye.
Unsubscribe.
Sorry you won't be back, but whatever. So but for the most part it was very positive and a lot of fun. It was. And I thought for sure. I said, I'm going to be as diplomatic as I could possibly be. And I said, I had my lower tiers, and I thought, I think most people can sort of say, yeah, I can see why that's down there. And then I had my middle, which as I said the midsection looks kind of like a lot of people's top tens. Big heavy hitters
Who's
that were in there.
midsection?
Love the midsection. And I got my top 10. And you know, again, I kind of felt like, you know, at least I kind of dotted the I's and crossed the T's and said, you know, here's why things are. So again, mostly positive reception. So I was pretty happy with
You
it.
stayed true to yourself, even with No Time to
Yeah.
Die. The controversial ranking of putting it in your top 10,
Yeah.
which was just, honestly, that was the big wow moment.
Yeah.
Quantum, I knew, was going to be ranked low. I mean,
Sure.
that's why we're sitting in front of Quantum, to make sure sit in front of his 20th ranking.
Like when the dog messes the carpet and you put his nose in it.
Just boom, boom. It's like, I'll let you just by osmosis let it seep into your back.
Here you go, deal with it.
But honestly, you kept true to your brand. You didn't waver, which I really like. You didn't look to placate the audience.
Yeah.
Which is, I think everybody knows when they go to your stuff, they're going to get something very authentic.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I remember I had a lot of grumbling that how could you not have Goldfinger in your top 5, much less your top 10? And see, one of the things that I always sort of say to people when they grumble about things being too low, you know, I say, okay, well then explain to me why this one above it is worse. You know what I mean? I mean, again, it's always easy to say something should have been higher, but then you have to sort of, okay, well then you make the argument why these above it are not as good.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not always easy. So
It makes sense.
yeah, and you're absolutely right. No Time to Die was the one I was kind of like just a little nervous doing, but yeah,
I was nervous for you.
Seriously, if people are gonna come to my house over that.
Relocate.
I'm surprised you invited him over.
It was touch and go there for a bit. Actually, in all fairness, I invited him before I watched the video.
All right.
So. But Kyle, I mean, talk to us about 2022. You've had a couple big moments.
2022 was a big one for me, both Bond and otherwise. Between our trip to the Bahamas, having a Thunderball, there were a handful of Bond community weddings to go
Yes.
to, which
Wow.
was really, really fun. Got to travel to Vegas, got to travel to Michigan. So did a little bit of traveling. Bahamas being spectacular.
Yeah.
Spending time in the company of not one, but 2 Bond girls who are really fun after a couple of glasses of
Still
champagne.
class acts.
Class acts.
Wow.
And can still hold their own partying. So
Oh, yes.
Bond girls are forever.
Oh, look at you doing that.
That's right.
Well played. Well played.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. I think some of my highlights were definitely location moments. You talked about the Bahamas, you talked about some of the weddings, so I won't be redundant. But I think also a trip that Danielle and I took with no Bond fans, just the 2 of us, to Switzerland. So we did literally the entire country, and we went to Bond moments, bungee jumped off of the dam.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
That's on my bucket list.
Golden Eye. That was definitely probably one of my craziest moments.
I'm the only one here who's never done that.
You've got to
This is
do
true.
it.
How about that?
You
I
gotta
gotta
get
get.
it.
I better get on
By
that.
the time we show this, you'll do it. But I mean, there were moments like that I think were quieter moments for me. We also had the Gatherall, which was fun. I just any time that we could go to New York City as a foursome or just any of those type of moments, I thought were very special. And again, not to keep drumming this home, but anytime we could have the quieter moments, the Gatherall is great, but it's 100 people in a relatively small area where the din, it's like really hard to have an intimate conversation.
Yeah.
And for me, trying to play host, it's almost like conversations that are 9 seconds in length.
Yeah.
And then you're on to the next thing. So the quieter moments were really special. But Joe, you talked about 2022 with you, even though you didn't create a lot of content this year. A lot of content was out there. Was there anything in 2022, whether it was a brand launch or an event, a show on TV, a documentary, or something from the Bond community that you were like, wow, that was special?
Well, yeah, there were a lot of the wow moments, frankly, and I try to remind myself. I'm gonna get a little philosophical here.
Ooh, sit back.
Being a good person, means that when other people are doing things that are fun and exciting, you take joy in the fact that other people are able to have these moments and yes, I'm so happy that everybody got to do this. With that said, yeah, it was tough. This was a tough year watching a lot of the things happen this year. The Jamaica trip was a big one. Bond 60 over in London. A lot of people I really wanted to see were over there for that. Again, I'm very happy that everyone got to have this good time. Not jealous in any way, shape, or form. A big one that I missed out on this year that really kind of was a gut punch was the Cue the Music final concert.
Yeah, I wish I could have been
Same.
there.
Yeah, that was a very tough one to miss. Warren reached out and he gave me a very, very kind invitation to come.
You got your
He
diamond?
says yes. He did have something to present had I been there.
Yeah.
That he mailed and it's it's sitting in my office right now and I'm looking at it pretty routinely going like, man, I really wish I was able to go to that. So yeah, that hurt. But so yeah, so the theme this year was red in the face with jealousy for a lot of things. So
Green with envy, red with jealousy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Just kind of this burning, seething, plotting the deaths of people who had fun. No, not on me. But yeah,
I like
it
that
was,
unfiltered version better. More the truth.
Yeah, but again, it was for a year that you thought was going to be kind of quiet.
Yeah.
Again, we're kind of post No Time to Die, so you kind of thought there was going to be a lot of sitting around waiting for things to happen. It was a lot going on this year.
There was. Kyle, similar. Either things like Joe was saying you regret not being part of, but also things you observed that you were like, wow, I'm so glad we got this in 2022.
There were a lot of things that happened in 2022 that I didn't expect. Just by organically, I was able to see Daniel Craig in person 4 times this year.
Wait, count
Wow.
them. What? Count them.
So I saw 2 performances of Macbeth. One was a preview, and one much later on into the run of the performance, which was excellent. And both times, he very graciously came out and signed playbills for the people in attendance.
Wow.
So that was really cool. The third time was at the NJ PAC with you
Yes.
fellas,
Mhm. Yes.
and he was being
That's
interviewed by Stephen Colbert, and that was really fun. Not only for the event, but really the fun part was having dinner with
camaraderie.
you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Big time.
And then the fourth time was just this past Monday at a screening of Glass Onion in New York, and
Really?
he did a question and answer session, and I got to see it from the front row, which
By the
was
way, now
really cool.
4 means you get to go on the bodyguard list.
That's right. Yeah,
You're on the
do
Daniel
not,
Craig's
do not
bodyguard.
let this man within 5 yards. Of
Kind of
Daniel
the
Craig.
opposite of getting a buyback. They basically
Exactly. Similar but different.
keep an eye on this
Oh
one.
my gosh, that's crazy! I didn't even know that.
Sure.
So that was something that I did not expect to happen, and it kind of, like I said, happened organically, just buying tickets to see different events. But then there was some really cool stuff that was a little bit more planned in advance, like the Bahamas trip or some of the 60th anniversary events, screening of Dr. No, some brand launches, those kinds of things.
Yeah, they added up. I mean, I think for me, I almost forgot the 60th anniversary sort of week in London. It was a week of events. And you're right, Joe. It's like, I think in the beginning of 2022, when we looked at 2022, we said, this is the afterglow of No Time to Die. So things will peter out. Maybe they'll have a couple of things. And in fact, we did a video, Joe, where we talked about, they're not going to do anything.
That's
for
true.
The 60th anniversary.
That
You
is
can find
true.
it on my channel.
Yes,
And it's
yes.
like, we were kind of bellyache. And
Yeah.
it's like, what if we ran the zoo? This would be so different. And all of a sudden, in the end, they just had a bolus dose of different things. I think the 60th anniversary being in London was very special. And again, it was these after parties with a lot of the Bond community meeting, views from Mark, people like that. I will say, even, not to get blunt instrument on everybody, there were even individuals in London who had falling outs with individuals who had a makeup session.
Really?
Yeah. They all kind of got together and said, what are we beefing about? What are we arguing about? We're all good friends. So there was almost like kind of a Jimmy Carter Yalta type moment that went on that a lot of people didn't get to see or experience.
That's good to hear.
It was very good to hear. But I think from Eon, I will say this. I think the Sound of 007 documentary was probably one of the best things that came out of them in a long time.
That was terrific.
Right?
Which did you prefer, the documentary or the concert?
Well, being at the concert was magical because of that's. But
That's
I will
right.
say
You
this.
forgot. Some of us.
I
got
will
to
say
go.
this: if I was a spectator and saw because I did watch the truncated concert, and I watched the documentary. The documentary was much better.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I was wildly impressed with the documentary. I thought they really, somebody put, especially because things like that tend to be very, just crank the sausage out. We've seen a lot of these over and over, and they're fine. This one, they really put a lot of effort into this.
They did.
It was very colorful. There was a lot of graphics in there that were a lot of
Beautiful.
fun. So yeah, it was pretty good stuff. I mean, it was very, as they always are, it was very focused and a little centric on the newest
Yes.
Yes.
bit of music. But again, that's part and parcel for all of these. They're always sort of focused on the newest, latest. But yeah, no, I was really pretty taken with it. I thought they really did an excellent job.
And the director said, he was interviewed there, and he said he had this could have easily been a docu-series of 9 hours
Wow.
of things.
There's so much material that the documentary didn't cover.
Correct.
Michael
Sure.
Kamen and Bill Conti barely get
Got 'em in,
sentences.
yeah. Yes.
So you could go even deeper into the music of Bond. There's a lot of rich history
Yeah,
there.
let's hope that there is some sort of release. There won't be. but
Release
you can
the
always hope.
extended cut.
Release the Kraken!
Yeah,
And by
yeah.
the way, while you're at it, release the extended cut of Quantum. Just for Joe's sake. Just to give him a chance.
It might make it a little bit more watchable.
I don't know if you heard, but he rated No Time to Die higher. The man has a
By a
fever.
substantial margin too.
He still got the C, if you know what I mean. Still got the C. Careless. All right, gentlemen. I mean, this is, again, when this debuts, it is New Year's Eve when this is released. And so it is a little bit of looking back. We're nostalgic creatures. We love, obviously a franchise from 1962. But we also have to be forward thinking a little bit. So, Kyle, I'll start with you. Now that we're on the cusp of 2023 and looking forward, we don't have a 60th anniversary. We most certainly don't have a new film coming out this year. What on earth are you looking forward to in 2023?
This is when it becomes our time to shine. I don't mean just the three of us, but the Bond fan community at large. We need to start creating our own events, our own magic, our own special celebrations of the franchise we love so much. So let's look at 50th anniversary of Live and Let Die is coming up. Can we put together a Live and Let Die celebration? Can we think about some of the things that have happened in the past while still looking at the future? There's going to be a lot of speculation coming up about a new actor. Maybe we'll see something, maybe we won't, but it's fun to have those conversations. So
Do you think we'll see a new actor this year?
it's possible. I'm not sure we'll hear about a new actor until we hear who the director is. I don't know which will come first, a new director or a new actor, but I'm kind of hopeful that we'll get at least one of those two announcements this year, either a director of the next film or the star, hopefully both.
Interesting. Joe, what about you? 2023.
I just to sort of capitalize on what Kyle just said. I think the thing that I am sort of waiting on, like in terms of new actors, new directors, etc. I'm waiting to hear what Eon's involvement will be.
Oh,
If I almost feel that
Interesting.
in many ways, No Time to Die felt like a swan song.
You think?
On multiple yes, Captain Obvious. But on multiple levels. A lot of the I almost feel like this probably wouldn't have happened if they weren't also communicating a larger changing of the guard. So I don't know. I that's sort of the part I feel like. I mean, again, I'm not saying that they will, but I am just sort of hinging on, are they gonna go forward as if nothing really has happened? New actor, new movies, etc. So that's sort of what I'm kind of waiting for. But also, yes, there is going to be a vacuum for sure in the coming year. So I'm anxious to see how we fill that void, and I do feel like it's going to fall to us, the community at large, to really fill that space.
I'll address. I want to kind of put a pin in the community because I think that's a big conversation that I want to save to the end. But let's talk about filling the gap because we do know that there are certain things coming. Let's kind of address some of them. First of all, we know that there's one, possibly two video games coming. There's the GoldenEye sort of re-release.
Yes.
And then there's also the entirely new kind of Hitman engine, World of Bond type game that's coming as well. Are those things that you guys, I mean, we've got different age groups here, different backgrounds. Are those things that you're looking forward to in 2023?
I mean, any James Bond content is good content. We've already had 3 new books this year, 2 novels and a nonfiction book. So a video game, new Bond material, new Bond stories, new Bond adventures. I'm always excited about that. I'll have to buy a new system to play the new games because I haven't played video games in quite some time. But
Same.
I will make that investment for Bond without a doubt. Bond video games probably at least somewhat responsible for why I'm sitting here today.
Yeah.
They create new fans.
They do, and I just like you, I will probably be needing to buy another console because honestly, I mean, I don't think I've played a video game at all since, not including maybe like iPhone games,
Right.
but I have not played a regular video game since the early 2000s, early mid 2000s.
Wow.
GoldenEye
And it
for
would
the
have
Wii,
been-
I think, was the last game.
Yeah, I think the last thing I played was Bloodstone. I think that was probably
Yeah.
it. And Bloodstone, and just before that was the Quantum Solace game, which was excellent, by the way. I thought anyway. So I frankly will be curious because I will get whatever game comes out. I will have to get a console to play it on, and frankly, I'll be curious to see if I still have that mojo to play video games like I did.
I know.
I feel like I could be getting a little too old, and I see some of the kids, what the kids are doing these days. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this anymore.
That's kind of where I am, because look, if you see Instagram or TikToks of, like, you know, the girl or the wife, you know, she's trying to dress up for her husband and he's playing video games for 19 hours.
Yeah.
You've got that stigma now.
Yeah.
But I legitimately also have not played video games in probably 6 or 7 years. Because I had kids, I did have kind of the latest technology, but I grew to a point where, and I say grow as if it was an evolution, maybe it wasn't, but I found it to be like, is this really how I want to spend 4 or 5 hours of my time?
yeah.
You know, is this the search of knowledge? Now, I will say this, because it's a Bond adventure, that's time well spent to me, because if
Agreed.
I can create my own Bond movie inside of a video game, that's why, to me, the Hitman one is a little bit more intriguing to me than the GoldenEye. GoldenEye is great, and who wouldn't want to play that game again? But the Hitman one is an entirely new world to open up. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
No, it could very well play out like an interactive Bond novel. That you are kind of living in this little world for a little while, and if they do it right, it could be something really special.
That's what the best video games are. They're Bond movies that we never got. If you look back at Everything or Nothing or Nightfire, they're essentially
Bloodstone.
Bond movies that you get to control.
Even, I will dare say, just because I'm going to beat a dead horse, I think the Quantum of Solace game to some people was better than the movie, because you were able to
this
actually
person.
see, connect, and in some cases maybe even had a better plot points.
Yes.
Yes. I was honestly, I was pretty shocked just how good that game was. I used to like that was great because it had the online element at that point too, so you could sort of go and play against other people, and you sort of were able to know the areas and stuff.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun, and then frankly, I really did think it was clever how they weaved the Casino Royale story into the Quantum story.
Yes.
And sort of make it all. It's interesting because we've always sort of commented that Quantum, if you sort of look at it as like the addendum to Casino Royale, that it plays better. If you look at that, those two as sort of a pair. And when you play the game, that's kind of exactly what it's doing, and it's sort of weaving it together for you. So yeah, it was pretty well done and pretty fun to play. So I'm with you there.
Well, okay, so we've got a couple things in that realm. We also have, if that is playing the game and immersing ourselves, we're going to be watching a game and maybe even rooting for people. Amazon is coming out with the whole, what is it called, Race to Bond, or
Something like that.
it's Bond.
The Amazing Race.
It's
James
the Amazing
Bond.
Race, but James Bond style. It's already filmed. I hear allegedly it's already edited. It's ready to go and ready to launch. I don't even know when this thing launches, but I'm gonna start this rollout in this conversation, guys. There's a part of me that knows for a fact, of course, I'm gonna watch it every week. Of course. It's gonna be on Prime. I have Prime. Of course, I'll watch it. I don't know if I care. It's the strangest feeling. Like, I feel like I should be more excited about a James Bond game show, but it seems so strange to me. What do you feel?
I'm probably like you. It could be great. It could be eh. It really depends. I mean, projects like this, I think, really hinge on the people who put it together and how much they know and understand the world of James Bond. So it could catch me from the get go, or I could be like, yeah, no, these guys don't quite get it. So I really have to sort of. I hate that I can't add much more than that, but it's really going to be a wait and see kind of a thing for me.
What about you, Kyle?
It's not what I expected Amazon to make once they purchased MGM. I did not think the first thing that they would make out of the gate was James Bond: The Amazing Race.
Is it the LaShawn Lynch moment where she takes off her wig and he goes, well, that's not the first thing I would take
Exactly.
off. Right.
However, it's new Bond content, and I do think they will find a way to reward Bond fans for watching this. I don't think that it's only just for a mass audience. Otherwise, why not just make it another season of The Amazing Race? There has to be something that they're going to do that's special to hook people like us.
I hope, and I think I can speak for all of us when I say this, I hope they don't gravitate too much away from the tropes of Bond in this. I hope it's not The Amazing Race with like a very thin skin of James Bond.
Right.
But I hope they have luxury moments and great locations and exotic cars and, you know, just things like that. I hope it's not this like bad office version of a game.
Or problem solving in a James Bond way. Maybe you have to think
With
like Bond in order to find the best solution to whatever the obstacle is.
Yeah.
I mean, something like this has the potential to be one of the greatest things we've ever seen. Frankly, I mean, if they go, I mean, it could simply be, you know, just the Bond fans' dream, you know, come true. Go to locations, do some of the fun things, meet some of the people. I mean, it could be off the hook.
Yeah.
So it's, again, that's why I say, like, it could be that, or it could be, you know, like when you walk through the Spy Museum and somebody wrote like, you're like, how to be James Bond, and it's all this kind of like nothing nonsense, and you know, we've seen a million times.
Carry a lot of money in your wallet. That's a great way. A hearty handshake is your best weapon. It's like, really? So speaking of locations, I think it's a great jumping off point because we all mentioned locations either being a part of them or even regretting missing them, but 2023 will certainly find some interesting location moments. You've got Black Tomato Travel, which is an interesting company that has become an official partner with Eon, where they are doing official travel Bond moments. And I think they're doing London, Italy, France, a couple of Monaco. And all I know is I'm going to find out more about them very shortly, but I know that the deposit, just the deposit per person, is $10,000. The deposit. Then you've got people like Martijn Mulder, who is give me your watch. Then you've got Martijn Mulder, who is going back to Japan this year. He's also talking about doing something in the United States in September at different locations. They're talking about different events, you know, that are a little bit more organic and small. You just had Operation Blofeld, which was a little tiny thing but very important because it brought a lot of great people together in the UK. You've got also the UK British fan club talking about doing events. So, gentlemen, tough question, but from a location or an event standpoint, either things you may be looking forward to or just what do you hope for? Kyle, you want to go first?
I will always take more travel to Bond locations. I'm constantly looking for those opportunities. So if something comes up, I will jump on it. I'm a little concerned just from a practical standpoint about vacation time, taking time away from work, because unlike Bond, I do not have a bottomless expense account or unlimited time away from the office. But if the right opportunity came across my lap, I would jump at it. I always enjoy going to Bond locations with Bond people.
Yeah. as soon as you said that the deposit was $10,000, I said you can add that to the list of things I will be watching from far away and rooting for everybody to have a good time.
I don't. Do we know anybody that would? I don't know anybody. I wouldn't. I can't.
You have to talk about expendable income.
Yeah.
But
You'll never see Danielle in another video again. That's for
right
sure.
there you go. But my ears do perk up when you mention Martin Mulder and anything he's putting together, because again, I mean, everything he has done has been absolutely spectacular. And when you mentioned something in the U.S., suddenly I was like, oh, that's a little more attainable than
Could be in our backyard.
That's
could
a
very well be.
no-brainer. That's a
yeah,
no-brainer.
absolutely. I think that's something that could definitely be pretty exciting. And kind of anxious to hear more about that.
I'll tease one other thing too, publicly, is that I have been speaking to GoldenEye to potentially do a long weekend at GoldenEye just for Bond fans, and this would be a series of different Fleming Bond events, luxury moments, but also what people don't seem to realize is they think GoldenEye is unobtainable. GoldenEye, because breakfast and a lot of the food and everything, drinks, some of those things are included in some of the aspects, as well as the amenity and events. It's actually one of the least expensive vacations you can go on if you get a beach hut. So what we want to do is we want to give affordability, we want to give the opening, and we want to really immerse people in the Fleming life. And I'm hoping to do that in 2023.
Now we're talking.
So I would love everybody to be a part of that.
You are again. The ears are perking up.
Probably have to put up
that
with
might
us.
be a great honeymoon.
Honeymoon.
And we're not going to do what they did to Della to Mary. Although, what a great video that would be. And then you could be in bed at the end going, Dave, I got this hot nurse. Dave. That's what 2023
We
is
can do a
gonna
little
be.
fishing.
Yeah. No more Grandpa Joe. They call me Joey A. This is gonna get dark, guys. We so whether we gravitate to the sartorial side or not, we know. 2023 is not going to go dark for the Bond brands. We had some fun moments in seeing certain things come out around brands this year that were unobtainable, all the way through to Lego sets that were $19, which was great. Everybody could build a Lego DB5. Is there, and not even about things that you're looking forward to, you can absolutely mention that, but are there things that you hope for, like 2023, from a collecting standpoint or merchandise? Is there anything that you're like, damn it, just please do this?
I've got one.
Please.
50th anniversary of Live and Let Die. I want the Live and Let Die pajama set, the bathrobe, the slippers, the works. I've been aching for that for years. This is the time. 50th
Somebody
anniversary.
needs to do that. I mean, Turnbull and Asser, they came out, and I'm just going to say it because I said it in sort of a veiled way on my video when we did the launch. I thought their previous launch was going to be around loungewear and robes. I was crowing it. I'm like, I know it. This is it. They're going to build the yellow robe with everything, the slippers. Yes, we need some.
We need that.
We need James
I
Bond
need
loungewear.
that.
I like that. Is that your kind of number one wish list?
That's my number one wish list. Yeah, I've been aching for that. Being a Roger Moore fan,
Yes.
I've needed that for as long as I've been a Bond fan.
I like that. Joe, what about you? Anything hankering?
I can't think of anything specifically, but I do know that the things that I enjoy the most are the kind of throwback replica outfits. And we have certain brands that just really do that so well.
Yeah.
So I always
He's stroking himself. Is that NPL? Is that what
it is.
Yes.
yeah. I mean NPL, Oliver Brown. I mean they do such fun things with these like replica things they put together. So I feel like every time there's like a new launch and a new round of things, I always kind of perk up and I see what's in this one.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And I have to throw a shout out to Omega for their 60th anniversary piece. I've been calling it Omega's greatest hits. They nailed it. They took the GoldenEye dial, the Spectre Seconds Hand, the No Time to Die bracelet, married them all together to make something that commemorates James Bond's relationship with Omega.
It's a bookend with all the great cream filling of what the Bond watches have been. That's one I'm probably most excited about.
They nailed it.
Is that release. And it was, I will say this again, public forum here. It was the only item or release of a piece of merchandise where Danielle looked at me and said, I think you're going to get that, which was so supportive. And I should have taped it, but here I am saying it publicly, so I can't go back. But I'll tell you one thing. This is weird because there's not even a hint of it out there. I wish that in 2023, they also release, even if it's on the 007.com store, more toys. More homage toys, more things. And I know it's for the youngster and all of us, and chances are it's a 45, 50-year-old man buying it, except for Kyle. Old
35.
Soul, 35. But I want to see like toys. I want to see some of the things that are a little bit more fun and nostalgic and not such high fashion. And here's me saying this where my channel's all about, I know, wow. I do know for a fact we are going to have more fashion and style launches. I think we're going to see some very exciting things from Olabar Brown in the spring that, quite frankly, will make their 60th anniversary look a bit anemic, which is very exciting. But deep down, I kind of want to see that little kitsch, that little sort of like piece where it's like, even like a stuffed snake from Live and Let Die.
That would be great.
When they came out with the official doo-doo, and I love Bridget, of course, we all do, who makes the doo-doos, the doo-doo. But when they came out with an official doo-doo, I'm like, yes!
That's
like,
funny.
they got it. Like, they understand that there's grown men and women who want a crochet frickin' rabbit that blew up.
It's true.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for more of those, like, fun moments.
And I like a lot of the in-universe things. Like you said, the Live and Let Die snake, the doo-doo, stuff that we've seen Bond use or Bond handle. That's a lot of fun because it's like that secret connection to a film.
That's it. It's like if you know, you know. And you can have it sitting on your couch or your living room, or you could give it to your, 2-week-old granddaughter, and they wouldn't know it until they ate the eye, which is very dangerous because it was the 1970s. They didn't know about safety or flammability. So you got to be careful, kids. Remember, practice safety and safe
Johnny
sex.
Switchblade.
Yeah. Joe can attest. Safe sex.
Absolutely.
But guys, we would be remiss. I can't leave this conversation. We danced around it into the fire around the movie and the franchise. Do we, and I'm going to start with you, Joe, do we feel like Eon's whole take of like, oh, we're taking a break and we don't even know what's happening, we got to reinvent ourselves. Is it all guys? Is it all a facade and they are baking and fleshing out a new movie?
No, I don't think it's I don't think they're you're giving me flashbacks. SNL in the 80s used to do Reagan, and they used to do this bit where Reagan would come out and there would be
Was
like
it Dana Carvey?
It was no, this is actually it might have even been Randy Quaid actually.
Oh wow!
This is back a little bit.
Yes.
And he would be like this nice sweet old guy, and they would have a Boy Scout come and he would pat him on the head, good for you for getting your badge, whatever. Then the second he would leave the room, all right, get back in here, and they would start making these plans to take over Russia or whatever. I don't think Eon is doing that. I think they're basically chilling out, and
they're as chilled out as they're purporting to be.
Exactly, yes. They're every bit as chilled out as they're purporting to be. And quite frankly, I don't mean to throw daggers at the fine people who've given us what they've given us. Okay. But again, we're all getting up there. I'm not a spring chicken anymore either, so I'm not casting aspersions. But I kind of feel like the last decade or two of Bond have felt like a constant stream of taking a break with little intervals of, I guess we got to make a movie. The theme of we're all tired, we need to rest has just been it's not the exception, it's the rule. That's why I say I'm really interested to see what their next move is going to be. Are we going to keep on trucking, do another Bond movie like nothing happened, bring in a new actor, or are we going to bring in some younger blood to take us to the next level? That's kind of what I'm waiting on to see what that move is going to be. And again, I've been saying for quite a while when people say what's your prediction? I said it's either going to happen quickly or very slowly. Which
really
could
those bets,
exactly right. Which could end up being total lukewarm somewhere in the middle. But again, either either they're going to keep moving forward, not change the guard up, and
Right.
in which case it will take a while, or they can finally give it to somebody who is chomping at the bit to put out new material, in which case it'll happen fast. I kind of feel like if there's an announcement that they are going to make a significant changing of the guard, you will probably see somebody act very quickly to get things moving again.
Nice.
So.
Oh, that was good. What about you?
I don't know how I can follow that.
I know, that's a tough one. That's pretty well said.
I'm very wary of turning the keys over to somebody who's not part of the Bond family, who didn't grow up with a respect and appreciation for Bond. I don't want to see, and we may as well talk about it because we're all fans, I don't want to see Bond go the way Star Wars has the last 10 years since Disney took the reins. I don't want Disney James Bond. I want more Bond content. Daniel Craig was James Bond for 15 years, and we got 5 films. There could have been 7 or 8 in 15 years.
Right.
I'd like to see a little bit more frequency.
More like the Brosnan era where you had
Exactly.
it every 2 years.
Every
Yes,
3 years, I think, is a very fair time frame that gives them enough time to come up with good scripts, good stories, great casts, but still keep them on a little bit more of a regular rotation.
So you don't want an announcement at BondaCon where they have a big long timeline of
Correct.
like, here's the next movie, and then the Moneypenny
Oh my gosh.
Diaries, and then the Felix Leiter Adventures, and whatever. Yeah.
We don't need that.
Do you feel like Amazon, if Amazon had their way, that's how it would be? Like all these offshoots, if you will?
I don't know, because I'm not as familiar with Amazon's original content.
Right.
I know that they're doing some of the Tom Clancy, Jack Ryan stuff. I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's good or if it's bad. So I'm not really sure what they would do with an IP like Bond.
Yeah. It's interesting, too, because I'm, like Joe, I think I'm of two minds about at least 2023. I think 2023 is definitely going to be a baking year where they pull the ingredients together. I'm going to be a little bit more fantastical and say that I believe they actually have more of the ingredients of that baking together already. I think there's enough hints from what I've seen, what I've heard, just observations, that they may have the ingredients. And by the way, the ingredients could be an actor. The ingredients could be screenplay. I mean, we already know that Purvis and Wade are back in some regard or another. I think that they may have the direction that they want to do, not so much a reboot, but to kind of bring it back into the eye of everybody. I think even from a marketing standpoint, they may take a very different approach this time around. And I think they may have made motions to do that. I will say this, I'm going to throw a name into the hat. Greg Wilson, who is, it was interesting to watch a week long of 60th anniversary celebrations where I got to meet him in a green room, and some people connected at some of the brands with him, and you heard him up on stage. He clearly has been groomed by his father, even down to the point of some of the things that are being said. But he's his own person, and he's got a very creative, technical, and technology background. And he's almost like a sort of derivative of his father in some ways. I think partnered with the right individual, and I don't know who that right individual is, I think he might be a formidable direction or waypoint for the series, and keeping it in the family, but also imbibing something new if he's allowed and empowered to do so.
I think that would be a great direction to go.
Could be interesting.
Can we get David Arnold back?
Oh, hell.
Please.
I mean, would anybody put an argument to that?
I haven't heard one yet.
Yeah.
All right, well, guess what? Amazing segue, because here's how we're going to start to conclude this. Because now we've talked about hopes and wishes. Now we're going to be talking about creation and fantasy. And if you all had, and this is going to date as badly as Taylor Swift, if you had your choice of actor, director, music conductor, score, I'll leave it at that because I don't want to make it too difficult.
Okay.
Who are the 3 people you would choose? And Kyle, I'll let you go first.
Actor, I am leaning more towards Aaron Taylor Johnson. I saw Bullet Train over the summer,
Fun.
and he was the one who really stood out to me, and I remember leaving the theater and saying, like, okay, this guy has got it. Director, maybe because it's the day after Christmas, I've got John McTiernan on the brain because I watched Die Hard yesterday. I would love to see him make a Bond movie. That would be a nice return to Hollywood for him. And composer, it has to be David Arnold. I mean, I am aching for another David Arnold score because every single one he did is just a home run.
I like that. Good choices. And by the way, very very emphatic, almost like you had thought about that beforehand.
I mean, these are some of the things that I spend some of my
I was gonna say,
on.
this is how I fall asleep at night,
I've
David.
thought of this once or twice before.
I don't
These
count
are a
sheep.
few
I
of
pick
my
up the
favorite things.
Exactly. All right, Joe.
That's a tough one because I keep sort of, sometimes it's hard to, think about what you want because sometimes, careful what you wish for, they come true and they don't really pan out the way you imagine they would. But David Arnold to me is a no-brainer. I absolutely positively agree that why he hasn't done all of the Craigs to me is a bit of a sin. That's not that I'm disappointed. I thought the Skyfall soundtrack was pretty great. Can't really imagine Skyfall without the composer that they had. But
Spectre was just as good because it was the same.
it was the same score.
Exactly, yeah. Just
Except for Mexico.
exactly. Right. So anyway, I totally agree on David Arnold. Actor-wise, again, everybody asks me all the time, and I go, I'm not as hip on the new players, so it's hard for me to. I do still kind of hold out for Henry Cavill a little bit. And I know with him getting bumped from Superman, suddenly that was a conversation again. Like, do you think they'll approach him?
I think he wants it.
I'm sure he does too. Yeah, and I feel like if they go the Henry Cavill route, it would probably be best served if they did a little lighter Bond.
Yes.
Keep it fun, not quite Roger Moore levels of, but. Again, a little lighter. He's a guy who is too ridiculously good looking to be real, frankly.
Ridiculously good looking.
Just
The world is not enough. Like that's kind of like the happy medium of light and dark.
Yeah. I mean, I can see him pulling it off really well, and especially now with people. I mean, again, I even though I'm a No Time to Die fan, I completely identify with people's Craig fatigue. We got too dark, we got too dour, we got too... Okay, so we can bounce it back up with a guy like Henry Cavill. Incidentally, somebody said to me recently, and I was like, wow, home run. In terms of casting, if they ever put Cavill into the Marvel Universe, they said, do you remember the Beyonder from the Secret Wars comics?
I don't.
It was basically... it was a whole different line of comics, and he was this guy, when he basically took human form, he was just like perfect and sort of insanely good looking. He kind of had that chiseled look that Cavill has, and I was like, I totally could see that.
The only comics I read were Star Wars comics. Believe me, I was a geek. I was just a different type of geek.
We're all friends here.
Yeah. And in terms of directors, honestly, I tend to lean back to the ones that I feel like have worked, and Lord knows Martin Campbell keeps coming back to mind, but again, he's had a couple misfires too.
He has.
So
but not with Bond.
Definitely not
Both
with
of
Bond.
his Bond films
not
are,
at all with Bond. That's 100%.
Are home
Yeah,
runs.
and I kind of would, and again, I know I'm going to get smacked for this one, but I wouldn't mind seeing Cary Fukunaga come back and being a little more unchained. Because I feel like, again, there are problems with No Time to Die that I can't argue with, and most of them have to do with the writing, which I feel was, again, that kind of studio input, too many different switches at the last minute, and things that suddenly didn't work because we changed gears. I feel like if you let him write and direct it, you might have something pretty spectacular. But again,
I think he directed increibly well.
He's a very good filmmaker.
As much as I, smack No Time to Die, I would say that. So you guys are going to look like Tolstoy compared to me because I'm going to go total like bad cotton candy, like the worst carnival you've been to. I would say for me, my dream would be Henry Cavill as Bond in a fun, almost frivolous, back to adventure, and puns and innuendo. James Bond, directed by, get ready for this, a trilogy, a minimum of a trilogy with Chris Nolan directing.
Okay.
Big, bold, brash, but still all the tropes in there with, yes, a resounding David Arnold score.
Yeah.
And I will say this too. I would want to...
to meet you, Mr. Bond.
Exactly. You can't hear the bad guy, but that's going to be a better thing. That's my cotton candy, no, it'll never come true. Unless, and here's the unless Eon makes a decision this time to go incredibly commercial, put butts in seats, almost take the Tom Cruise corner of the page and say, I create movies for the audience. And I know Eon has said it before, but they've also made decisions for individual actors, like the last film.
Big time, sure.
That decision was for an individual actor. That was not based on what the audience would like.
No doubt.
So I'm hoping they go back to what Cubby Broccoli always focused was, I make these films for the audience.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And not just us. For
Just us.
for the world, not just for the Bond fanatics.
You did leave me kind of speechless with that. Like, I feel like I cannot argue with that at all. I mean, that you kind of nailed it right there.
All right, so guys, we're going to end this puppy by getting just slightly personal, and it's a little bit of an opportunity for you to have a soapbox out there. And again, no promises need to be made, but here we are. We're doing this for everybody, but we're celebrating a day of having a few drinks amongst friends in a nice setting where we can come together. We talked about the Bond community, but we also are either contributors of content or we have channels. Is there anything around either the contribution that you've provided in the past that you want to see change or continue in 2023? Do you want to elevate what you've been doing, or do you want to do more of it, or do you want to do less of it? I'll let you go first.
I'm always up for more participation. These are the conversations that I really enjoy having. So any opportunity to engage and contribute to Bond content, I'm all aboard.
They said that Kyle is like Charo on
Coochie,
the Love Boat. On the Love Boat. She'll show up on the Love Boat, Fantasy Island.
Carol Burnett show.
Carol Burnett show, different strokes she showed up on. Coochie, coochie, coochie. Like, Kyle is the Charo of the Bond.
Yeah, if you got a Bond podcast, I'm on it. I'll be a guest.
He'll go to the opening of an envelope.
I come cheap.
I hear that's true. The Roger Moore of the Bond community. Joe,
No, I think that was actually Roger Moore.
All right, Joe. So, as somebody that just released one of their biggest and most profound videos, I mean, is that?
I'll tell you what. I kind of like the idea of being Charo. Or, I mean, I'll be the I'll be the Richard Dawson of.
Oh, I like that.
Meaning, I would actually love to be on more other podcasts again, and I feel like I've probably done most of them at one point. But if they're not sick of hearing my voice, reach out and I'll jump on, because I do feel like in the absence of having the free time myself to put things together, it is always fun to be a guest on somebody else's podcast or videos or whatever. In terms of what I personally, I hope now that life has settled down a little bit, and maybe people will like. All the married guys are like, what? You think it's going to settle down now? But again, now that I can maybe take a little breather, I hope to do more in the next year. I did do I did resurface the deep dive I did of License to Kill recently, in hopes of doing more of that sort of stuff, where I kind of get in and really get into the nooks and crannies of things, and so hopefully more things in 2023 for sure.
Nice. As far as my channel, the only thing that is going to change, we're still going to have the videos coming out. We're building one now as we talk. But I'm going to be doing a little bit more kind of a nostalgic standpoint of going back to like frugal Bond moments. So I'm sure we're going to have some amazing luxury brand moments to talk about, but I really would like to get back to that kind of mix of luxury and frugal, and we've already started that process. Kyle, I know has been a part of that, which you'll see in the new year.
Go figure.
Hey, I use the cheap actors. That's right. But I think that's what I'm looking to get back to. I would like to also get back to the fun. Like, there was one point in 2022 and I won't get too specific, where I was so overscheduled with doing videos. I'll just say it. When I was in London for the 60th anniversary, I went to 14 different brands while I was there. And at one point, I just remember laying in bed in my hotel, and thankfully Danielle was nowhere near the entire country or continent. I remember laying in bed saying, what have I done? Like I don't want to get like that in 2023. This is fun. It's a hobby.
Yeah.
I want to, even as I edit things, I want to have fun with it and laugh at it and enjoy every release of every piece of content. I never want it to be a factory of content. So I want to make sure that, I want to take the shot and make it count.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of...
Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, I caught it.
See what I did there? You did it?
I'm going to have to go home and watch Quantum again.
Close your eyes.
Am I really being too hard on this movie?
No.
No, gentlemen. Why can't we all like that on a good note? All right.
I just to capitalize on that really quick. I do hope that we do a lot more social events in the coming year, because I do honestly. I feel like we had COVID where nobody could do anything, and then we sort of had the post-COVID where it's like the groundhog kind of peeking out of the hole a little bit, but still not 100% confident.
Timid.
So I do hope we get a lot more things. I have a friend who opened up a place. It's a big, I don't know what you'd even call this, but he opened up. It's a bar restaurant, but it's in like this big warehouse space, and the theme is all around the perimeter. He's got these golf setups where you hit the golf balls, and it tells you how far you hit it. And
wait, can we have a gather all there?
I don't see why not. Absolutely.
Do they serve food and drink?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, you may have answered our problems.
We'll discuss. I mean, I did when I got there. I said, boy, I would love to get, and they have big TV screens all over the place. I'm like, I could put a different movie on every screen.
Exactly.
I said, this could really be a lot of fun.
Okay.
Excellent.
Plans are forming.
Suddenly now it's like,
Revenge is a dish best served cold. I'll bide my time. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Kyle, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Joe,
my friend.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my friend.
Joey. And of course, this has been David Zaritsky. We want to wish you an incredible holiday season. Happy New Year. Let's make it a great 2023. Take care.
Happy New Year.
Good evening, Mr. Bond fans. This is Calvin Dyson here, hoping that everyone had a very Merry Christmas, Jones. I hope that it was full of friends, family, food, drink, and maybe even a Bond film or two. And I hope that you have a very happy New Year celebration ahead of you as well. 2023 is right around the corner, and if there is one thing that I'm looking most forward to about this new year, it's that the N64 GoldenEye is going to get released on the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox. So I cannot wait for some online multiplayer action with a bunch of Bond fans all playing GoldenEye. It's dream come true. Let's hope it comes soon. But yes, I hope that you have a lovely New Year's celebration, and take care and enjoy the festivities. So long.
Hello everyone, Pete Brocker here from Tailors with Love. I want to say thank you to everyone for coming out and supporting Top Gun Maverick. It was a wonderful event, wasn't it? It was best film for the last 10 years, let's be honest. So I'm being a dick. The Bond community, what a wonderful place, and I'm so proud to be a small part of that community. Just cleaning out the cat tray here, pondering about what I'd like to see in 2023. I've been thinking about this for a while. I'd like to see Pierce Brosnan brought back as Bond, like an interim Bond, a czar, as it were, of the Bond world. You know how when you have prime ministers that get shit canned, and then they go, well, I'm going to hang on for 3 months until the next guy comes in, or the next chick, and so I'll be like your interim. That's what I want Brosnan to be. Like, we're without a Bond at the moment, and we need Pierce there with his wise grey beard and his paintbrush just to be Bond and tie us over. Okay, great.
Hello. We wanted to wish you a very happy and healthy holiday season. As for what we're hoping for in 2023, maybe some more love in the form of puppy love. I feel like my puppy galore might need an octopuppy to keep us company. We hope you have a great holiday, and we look forward to engaging with you next year. Mwah!
Hello, David. Hello, the Bond Experience viewers. It's Agent Scott from the Spy Hards podcast. Wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Now, I've been asked to say what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for all of you for coming on our adventure with our Quantum of Solace episode recently with David Zaritsky on the show. Thank you all for your support. And what I'm looking forward to in 2023, well, this is a spy movie podcast. So I'm looking forward to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 coming to theaters. But until then, I'll see you in the year 2023.
Hi everybody, this is Remmert from Bond Lifestyle. I want to thank everybody for a great 2022. I think it was a good year for Bond with the 60 years of Bond celebrations, the events, the products. I'm looking forward to 2023. I want to say happy holidays to everybody and see you next year. Cheers.
Merry Christmas! From the bearded Blofeld. Hey guys, it's Chris with the Bond Report. Just wanted to stop in and let you know I had a great 2022 season. Hope to see you guys next season. Take this time to spend with your loved ones. Have some quality time. Hope you have a safe and wonderful New Year's as well. And don't forget, these colors don't run. And as always, Merry Christmas, 007.
Hi there, it is Roland Hume, and I just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone in the Bond community for making 2022 such an amazing year. It was just, I don't know, being part of the Bond community has been amazing. I've made so many friends, people I speak to every single day who I might never have otherwise have met, and it's just been a real privilege to be part of all of the Bond fandom that goes on, and I'm really, really excited to see where it leads in 2023. I mean, this year we had Gatherall, we had that amazing trip to the Bahamas. There were all sorts of crazy things going on that were just so exciting. And you think, what is going to happen in 2023? Because I know it is going to be bigger, better, more, much more Roger Moore, and I'm really excited for it. So have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I will see you in 2023.
Hello, Simon Firth here, sometime author of books for On the Tracks of 007. Been kindly invited to say a few words about what 2022 meant to me and also what we're looking forward to in 23. Well, it will not be as a great surprise to all those of you who watch David's videos. Probably the highlight of 22 for me was the publication and the launch of the latest book that came from On the Tracks of 007, and that was filming James Bond in the Bahamas. It was a 2 to 3 a day event, and it culminated in a launch event which was held at the Kiss Kiss Club at the Atlantis Resort on Paradise Island in the Bahamas. It was in the company of various stars from the film Thunderball, and also son to Sir Sean Connery, Jason. Very, very lavish affair, beautifully compared by David. It had a lot of video support as well. Hands down, absolutely the highlight of 2022. But yeah, 22, we're nearly done with that. We're looking forward to 2023. What have you got in store for that? Well, we will be launching and publishing the next in the series of On the Tracks books. This will be James Bond in the USA. We will be launching that in September. Quite where, quite how, we do not know just yet. Martijn Mulder will come back to you all with that news. I will also be continuing to work on actually another book for publication in 24. I'm about 60 to 70% of my way through that right now. Very, very excited about it. It's going very much in the same vein as the book for the Bahamas. And also from January, I will be launching on a bit of a side project, I guess. It will be another book, because, yeah, that's what we do. It will be unrelated to locations. It will not be Bond locales. It will be a book which we will be concentrating around one man and one subject. And I'll be looking to commence that in January for publication when, I do not know, but also very, very excited. So, this is Simon Firth. I wish you all the very, very best for a happy Christmas and a superb 2023.
What's going on, everybody? Luke from Bond's Apartment. I hope you guys are all doing well and having a great holiday season so far. Mr. David Zaritsky of the Bond Experience was kind enough to ask me to participate in this kind of year-end message to everybody. So I just wanted to thank everyone for being so supportive of me and the podcast and my YouTube channel, my Instagram, and everything this year. I got to meet and hang out with many of you, which has been awesome in 2022. My hopes for 23, to find out who the next Bond is, to finally get some downtime and enjoy spending time with my wife. Last year was a little hectic planning the wedding, so now we can kind of relax, travel a little bit. And I hope to spend more time meeting more of you guys in person. Hopefully more in-person events and meeting some more of you guys that I haven't gotten the chance to spend any time with directly. So that is my hopes for 2023. I hope you guys are all having a great holiday and a Merry Christmas. And I will talk to you guys next year. Thank you.
Hi everyone, Lorenzo and Selmo here from Omega Bond Watches. I wanted to wish you guys happy holidays and a very happy new year. Looking forward to 2023 and everything that's in store. I'm really excited about me and Cassandra's honeymoon trip to London. It'll be her first time and it'll be my second. So sharing that together will be exciting because of all the history of the city and the Bond connection to the city. So taking that trip's like number one on my list. The other thing I'm obviously excited about, which I'm sure you guys could have guessed, is the release of the 60th anniversary Omega Diver 300M. I haven't seen one yet. I'm really looking forward to getting one in my hand so I can review it and kind of get my thoughts about it, because seeing pictures isn't really a telling sign of what to expect with the watch, but who knows if I'll get one. But Happy New Year, guys, and I'll see you soon.
Hello everyone, it's Marcus from Drinks, Beard and Bond. I want to say thank you for your support in the last year. And a big thank you to all the content creators for their fantastic content. The content enriched the 60th anniversary. I want to wish you all a good start into the new year, and maybe we'll get a new James Bond soon. Fingers crossed. Take care of you and bye.
Just 1 minute to say thank you, David. For I'm Luc Leclerc from the French James Bond Club, and thank you for the year we spent all together for the birthday of James Bond. It was such a pleasure to see friends in London, in Paris, and everywhere in the world, and it was a great moment that we share all together for the birthday. We have to wait now for 23 for what's happened for the next story of James Bond. Who will be James Bond? What way that he will go? No, we don't know. No one knows. Okay, we can expect for one actor or one another, but it's too early to say that. Okay, so I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We will have many things in 2023. You can go to Brussels to see Bond in Motion, and we will have in France the Bond Symphonique. So, and many other things, but it's too early to tell you. Okay, have a very nice end of year, and thank you, the Bond Experience, for sharing all this video, and take care of you. See you next year. Bye bye.
Ja, Mami, es ist schon ein bisschen heiß da. Ich rufe zurück. This is Roman Fiondella. On behalf of the James Bond Club Switzerland, I would like to thank you for an amazing 2022 with great events and a lot of content all over the social media platforms. I'm now 20 years part of the James Bond Club Switzerland. But there are so many pieces to build a community like the James Bond community is today. I think all of you are doing a great job, mainly next to a real job. I wish you all a great start into the new year, and be creative, be motivated, and sometimes be silly. We need a higher women quota. In this case, we are all dinosaurs. So cheers from Switzerland. Das ist einfach Plastik.
I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to all the followers of Bond Suits for an incredible 2022. Thank you for all the inspiration for me to keep producing new content and for getting my Instagram account to 20,000 followers. And thank you for your continued support of the book that I wrote with Peter Brooker, From Tailors with Love, An Evolution of Menswear Through the Bond Films. The book has still been selling tremendously in its second year. In 2023, I will continue to be refining my sense of style and sharing my journey with everyone else, as always through the lens of James Bond.
Hey, Jay Sadowski here for James Bond Classified, wishing everyone a happy holiday season and just thanking everybody for such a wonderful 2022, celebrating 60 years of Bond. Lots of hits, a couple of misses, but all in all, a lot of fun. Here's to 2023. Personally, I am looking forward to a new James Bond. The rumors are right now Aaron Taylor Johnson and Henry Cavill. I would be happy with either one. So anyway, Jay Sadowski, James Bond Classified. Let's make it a great year.
What do you know about Moonraker?
No, sorry.
Does toppling mean anything to you? What do you know about a man called Scaramanga?
Thailand might be doing something there. You never know.
What do you know about gold?
Yes, there is going to happen something very exciting regarding gold. It's all a bit a secret. What I can tell you though is that we had a very successful year, 2022, where we launched this new book, Filming James Bond in the Bahamas, written by Simon Firth. What are we going to do next year? Japan trip in April. Then in June, we're going to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Octopussy at Neen Valley in Peterborough, UK. There will be a book written by Mark Hernandez, and we will be having something in the USA in September. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. And I see you next year.
They never say how much eggnog is too much eggnog. Oh, hello everybody. Well, if I had to pick my personal highlight of 2022, it would definitely be meeting all the members of the community at certain events this year, like Gather All 3, cigar events and the like. After spending 2 years on this platform talking to people through a tiny screen like this, it never fails to be an incredible experience to meet people in person, and there's so many people I've met this year who I can't wait to meet again. So without a shadow of a doubt, meeting people at those events is definitely my highlight. But moving forwards into 2023, as much as I'd love to see who the next James Bond is, that's not what I'm looking forward to most. I'm an avid James Bond gamer. I mean, I've played all the games since GoldenEye 64 and even some before that. And I must say, I can't wait for new information about the next James Bond game. It's really starting to build up now, and it's been so long since we last had a James Bond game. Even longer since we last had a good James Bond game, but I'll get into that later. So, Merry Christmas everybody, Happy Holidays, and here's to a fantastic 2023. Just the right amount.
Hi, this is Alana and Elma from Dress to Kill podcast, and we just want to say a huge thank you to everybody for this year. We have had such a wonderful time.
Thank you for listening to our podcast and checking out our YouTube channel.
We're so grateful to this community. It has really saved us for the past few years.
Yes, and what are we looking forward to for next year?
Okay, for next year, I want to find out who the new Bond is.
Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully, this is on my bucket list. I want to have more fun, more adventures, more sparkly
more connections
times,
with
more
other
connections.
Bond fans and everything.
Yeah.
So, yes. Looking
Thank you.
forward to that. Thank you guys. Happy
Excited
New Year.
for 2023. Yeah, Happy New Year. Let's do one together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy New Year.
Hello there. I'm Phil Dewhurst, president of 007 GB, the new British James Bond fan club. Don't know what possibly could have given me away. I hope you've all had a great festive period with your family and friends. I'd like to wish you all a very, very happy new year for 2023. What an exciting year ahead. First year of the new club 007 GB and the 70th anniversary of our literary hero, James Bond himself. We've got a cavalcade of charity events coming up for next year for our members, both here in the UK and abroad. And we would love to get you involved. Go to 007gb.co.uk now, and you can be part of the community that's going to come together in order to give back. Keeping the British end up. Goodbye for now.
Hello, Jeroen, better known as Dutch Bond fan for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. What am I doing on David Saritsky's Instagram, you may ask? Well, hold on, I won't be a minute. I'm just here to wish you all happy holidays and a fantastic 2023. I hope your 2022 was as spectacular as it was to me. It was a great year in terms of me privately, but also for my channel, which has grown more than it ever did during this year, and I posted more videos than I ever did during this year. Over 40 videos posted, which I'm incredibly proud of. But obviously, it's not about the numbers. Whether you are a Bond influencer, a Bond fan, or just someone who happened to stumble upon this video, really, I just want to wish you a healthy and fantastic 2023, and who knows, maybe we'll meet in that year as well during one of the Bond events that I'm sure are going to be planned in that year too. This was Jeroen from Dutch Bond Fan, wishing you all happy holidays and a fantastic new year.
Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.